question was, what do we know what the woman's taiva to not be tznius is? Is it simply just that people should look at it and should be desired, or is there something else?
Okay, so you hear the shaila. The shaila is we're asking what is her tznius is her big sugya. So what is it fighting against? Like what's the desire to not be tznius? So I'm just thinking now that we should put it in context of the bigger question, which I think we might have discussed. I'm not sure if we discussed it. Is b'chalal what's her Yetzirah? Because the whole Yisrael was saying that a man's kedusha, a woman's tara, means a woman's already there. Right? That's who anyone who wasn't here. That's the whole Yisrael of men and women. Is this? There's two types of ruchnias. There's kedusha and tara. I don't know how much Torah to say in this. Like just. No, I'm saying Shavuos is next is coming up soon enough. It's really my Shavuos Torah, but you have to go for Pesach first. But Matan Torah is supposed to be 50 days after Pesach. Why? Because it took 50 days to get from the Mem Teshara Tuma. Right? In Kabbalah Torah, you have to be on the 50th level of Kedusha. So how many days should that take to get from the 50th level of Kedusha, from the 50th level of Tuma to the 50th level of Kedusha? Right, so what's with the 50 days? Right, how's it 50 days? If 50 days just gets you to zero, right? If you go, so you say do 2 a day, it defeats the whole purpose. The whole point is that there's one avodah of the day. So the teretz is that the whole kasha is a ridiculous kasha because the opposite of the 50th level of Tuma is not the 50th level of Kedusha. What's the opposite of Tuma? Tara. And what's the opposite of Kadosh? Choil. We're mixing two different ladders. And both ladders, whether you're talking, one ladder is called Kodesh and Choil, the bottom is Choil, total Choil, and the top is totally Kodesh, and the other one is the bottom is totally Tameh, and the top is totally Tar. They're both versions of Shleimus, but they're both only 50 rungs. Right? How many rungs are there from Kedusha, from the Mem Teshara Tuma? You just have to get out of Tuma. When you have zero Tuma left, what are you? You're Tar. Right? So the whole kasha doesn't apply. Taka is 50 days to get to perfection. And if you're saying the bottom is Choil, you could be totally Choil. And in 50 days, you're by the 50th level of Kedusha. Does that make sense? So the whole kasha doesn't apply, but l'maisa, what we say is that they were in the Mem Teshar Tuma, and they had to get to the Mem Teshar Kedusha. So what does that mean? It's two different ways to understand the same ladder. It's the exact same ladder. It's godliness. It's just sometimes the bottom is called Tameh, and sometimes it's called Chayil, and sometimes the top is called Kadosh, and sometimes it's called Tar. But both ladders are only 50. The Rebbeinu Shalom is on the top. He's called Kadosh V'Tar. Being godly is being Kadosh and Tar. And the bottom is Chayil and Tumah. So what's the two different things? The difference is it's both Ruchnias. It's just the question of the direction of Ruchnias. Meaning, if you're born at zero, so that's called you're born Chayil. And your job is to achieve Kedusha. Kedusha is something that you achieve. You're Makadesh something. You're Malin B'Kodesh. Kedusha is a goal. You become Kodesh. You don't become Tahar. Tahar is the opposite. You preserve Tahara. You defend Tahara. Tahara is a starting place. So the difference between the ladder of Kedusha and the ladder of Tahara, they're both talking about Ruchnias. If someone is born godly, then their avodah is, don't fall, is preserve your Tahara. If you're born unholy, your job is to achieve Kedusha. So that's how we would do it. A woman's job is Tahara, means she's already born godly. She's already born Ruchniistic. And since she's born Ruchniistic, her whole avodah is to defend. To defend. So which means what? Because what does Ruchniistic mean? Just to oversimplify it.
What does what mean?
What does it mean? Like all the midas the Torah uses to define the Rebbeinu Shalom, right? Kind, compassionate, giving, selfless, deep, caring, sharing, all these things. A girl's born like that. She's not rewarded for that because she was born that way. She'll be judged. La'acha me'ev eserim is how many rungs did you defend? Did the world succeed at schlepping you off the ladder? Did they cheapen you? Did you get degraded? So her job is a defensive job. It's called. That's the job of tahara is defensive. It's preserving tahara. It has an offensive side too, because there's a role to someone who's tar. A kohen is tar. Mainly he takes care. He lights up the world. There's an avoida, things you accomplish when you're tar. But it's not a role of changing. That's a separate. There's two parts of life. There's becoming who you are and what you're supposed to do with that. But the woman's avoida is not a climbing role. It's a defensive role. She's already godly. And we said that's why she doesn't need mitzvahs aseh, right? Because she's already there. The mitzvahs aseh, they're tools, the rungs up the ladder. They're not prizes, they're tools, right? They need the lace assays. Yeah, those all apply. Don't fall. That's what the mitzvahs are. And the man is born with the absence of all those mitzvahs. He's lazy and arrogant and lustful and impatient and selfish, but he's not punished for that. He'll be judged. La'acha me'ev esrim. How many rungs did you climb? Did you achieve kedusha? Did you become big? And if the man climbs and she defends, then that neshama is shalom. Those are the two. That's why Hashem made two neshamas. It's so that we can both have different arenas of avodah. And the shleimus is a man who becomes kaddish and a woman who preserves her tara, and then that neshama has both sides of godliness. Yimamish kaddish tara. Without splitting it, you could only be one or the other. You'd have to choose which one. What I'm saying, there's only one avodah to be. Okay, so that's how we legged it too. So that said, it's very easy to understand the man's Yetzer Hara. You don't want to climb. You're lazy. It's a sheval tasadif. You just want to chill. What's the woman's Yetzer Hara? Why would somebody want to fall? I think you're asking a specific niche of tznius, but first let's talk for a second about the klal. B'chlal, why would a woman? What's the drive to get right? The marshal I always give is: imagine you have a student who got Aleph plus, straight A's, whatever, 100 on every test, and you overhear them talking to the chevra after the test, after the report card, saying, "Next man, I'm getting a 70 or nothing. Not taking anything less than a 70."
Anything more?
What?
Anything more?
What?
I think anything more than a 70. They're trying to do bad?
That's the line. I'm going to get a 70 or nothing. That's what the lesson. Is there any? Yeah, you're bothered by it. It doesn't make any sense. That's my point. There is no rational reason why someone who gets 100 would want a 70. They know they can do it. They did it already. So all the fear of failure reasons, none of that applies. So if a woman was saying is already born godly, so then why? What is it that would make somebody want to fall? That's the kasha. What's the woman's Yetzer Hara?
No other greatness.
What? Just to put in context, we did this the first year, but I was not remembering.
We said romance. Was,
No, but
They
that's
had
it.
laziness, so maybe
What's her Yetzer Tov? Remember her Yetzer Tov? What's her Yetzer Tov? What's the woman's Yetzer Tov?
stability.
Stability, the drive for stability and security, which is the holiest drive in the world if you're on top of the ladder. If a man would have a drive for security and stability, it would be terrible. He'd sit on the couch, like watching football, hoping nothing ever changes. Like, just leave me here. But if you're already on top of the ladder, then it's the most. So that's the definition of a woman from a Torah perspective. It makes total sense, this drive. And then this is mamish why you see the opposites. Like, a woman wants a home, she wants a place, and the guy wants to be the man agrees to be in a home, like for her. But his teva is he's a changer. His job is to change. So he doesn't want stability. Stability to a man is an anchor.
what's her Yetzer?
So what's her Yetzer Hara? That's the big question. Anybody have a mahalach?
Well, just to say,
You said already before.
No, I said the different thing. Okay, fine,
Oh,
it's
you're
true. It's
saying,
true. No, you're right. You're right. What I said then is true. I want to go. I have to combine them.
What do you mean by Yetzer Hara? Meaning what would deter her to
No,
do that?
your answer is a good answer. You remember you heard his answer? I said it in the shir last time. It's such an important insight.
They're not
If
worthy?
every woman says she wants stability and security, so how come you go to any bookstore and you go to the romance novel section? How come there's never ever been a romance novel with an accountant on the cover? Like What's with the pirate? Like
Those-
what happened to
That
stability and
creates
security?
her.
What?
That creates her.
What is it? So what's that word?
We said it before, she wants to get in the back of a motorcycle.
She doesn't know how great she is. That's why she wants it.
So that's a different type. That's
But those women who would come to you on the cruises, right? Those women that would come to you and say we want stability. Those
Right.
middle-aged women, they never ask for romance because it's only the type of woman that's not stable, that doesn't understand her worth herself. That she's young or she's very her immaturity leads her to think that she wants romance. But a woman who's older-
romance is a good thing. Romance is see, that's why I didn't want to go there now. It's a different schmooze, but it is something larger than life. Stability and security without romance is so cold. You know, it's not a relationship. So women have to have this magical side to them, this fantasy side. Otherwise,
what's how those women are not
otherwise
asking
it's
for
too,
it?
too yuckish. You know what I mean?
So
Like it's
they're
too
not
dry.
being real. That's why.
What?
Those
No, so
women
the
are
answer
asking-
is, what's the answer? He said the answer. The answer is, if you hear a student saying, there's no rational answer in the world. First I want you because there's no answer. There's no reason why anyone who got 100 would never want a 70. Maskim? So there's only one rational answer. It's a weak answer, but it's rational. Is it someone who got 100 is dreaming of a 70? The only explanation is something must have got mixed up with the grades. They got the wrong grade. If someone is dreaming of a 70, they must have, the report card was messed up and it says 50. And somebody's saying I'm dreaming of a 70 because they think they got a 50. Nobody with 100 dreams of a 70. It's the only, I know it's not a real answer, but that's the only time, that's what must happen. That's the first thing you do. You hear someone saying a 70 and you know they got 100, the first thing you do is you go look at the photocopy in the office to make sure nothing got messed up on their report card. So what's the nimshal? The only reason the woman would ever fall is if she doesn't know how holy she is. That's the only reason the woman would ever fall. Somebody must have told her differently. That's the aside. The Yitzchak, all the problems come from that. That's why, see, I do this in the second part of the men-women talk that we didn't do. I'll say it like this is the shortest way to say it. What we explained in the first year was the job of a man and a woman. A man's job is to climb, a woman's job is to defend. Kedusha and Tara. But we both have a second job also. Our second job is the other one. Meaning if you're a man and you're climbing, you need the woman half of your neshama to defend, to preserve her Tara. And the woman, if she works on her Tara, if the husband doesn't climb, she still only has 50%. So the woman needs her man to climb and her to defend, and he needs to climb and have her defend. So that's the real role of marriage: is how do we help each other in the other job. So my job as a man is I have to become kaddish, I have to climb the ladder, and I have to help my female half of my neshama defend, and the woman has to defend and help her. So the words we use for that, simple words. The way a woman helps a man is it that if you're on top of the ladder, so then you're an inspiration. You're inspiring. She's ruchniistic. He sees it. He has in his house a picture of Kedusha, of Tara. So a role model, an inspiration. So that's in one word. The role of a woman in marriage is to inspire him. What's the man's job to her? How does the man help her defend? What would you say? If her job is Tara and your job is Kedusha, but you have to help her preserve her Tara, so what is your primary? That is the job of marriage. What's your primary job of marriage? How would you define it? No, you don't have a mahalach? Don't you
I'm
think?
not gonna say it, I'm not gonna say it.
You already said it.
Married people allowed to answer?
No, he knows the Torah. He listens to the little Torah already.
also
Chazar
knows
is
the-
the
Oh, Pasha.
You also know it.
Don't let her not believe in herself. And realize how
It's a man way of saying it. Say it straight.
that you're pure.
What's the man's job in
Give
marriage?
her belief that she's pure.
Which is what?
Say it.
Work backwards. You can work backwards also. You could start with what Chazal say is the most important thing in marriage, and then say that, and that's going to be the right answer. What we're going to say is going to stem with Chazal. Okay?
Gab dat ik goeven,
Yes, sir.
eerst mijn goeven is de megabe. What is
No,
it?
yeah. So what's the lashon? You have to love her
Yourself.
kugufay, Be mechaber her,
Respect her
Yosef.
more than
So the primary role of marriage is what?
To love and to
Is
respect.
l'chabda,
Meaning to respect is higher than to love.
to honor. There's difference in men and women is different. A man is respect. Man needs respect, and a woman gets honor. It's a very deep thing, also. But what's honor? What is honor? Can you define honor? What's honor?
Raise above yourself.
Not how you do it. Not how you do it. What are you saying? What does honor say?
You're hushing.
Yeah. Honor is the way you tell someone that they got 100 is you honor them.
Give them jewelry.
What?
Give them jewelry.
Okay, well that's part of it, but well, not really. What?
It's a recognition of something that exists already versus.
No, it's right. So the way you we're saying the man's job is to help her stay on top. What's her Yetzirah? The Yetzirah only gets into her when she is the non-awareness of what she is, the
How
belief
can
that she's
you
not
be
great.
perfect and be not aware? How can that person who gets hundreds all the time and it's a mess up in a score, he knows he's so good, he's getting hundreds, and how
It's
can
a
he?
very deep question. You have to have some kind of crack in order for the shkarim. I can answer you shkarim. Everyone knocks you down. So what are you really asking?
Because it's
Why
in
would
your
I believe?
essence.
Why would I believe them?
Yeah, it's in your
In,
essence.
in
like
order
a
for you
child
to
used
believe
have-
a sheker
like you
about
said,
yourself, there has to be something, a crack. Yeah, so there has to be a crack.
Like you said, a child is born with motivation, and it's where you have to inspire. You have to just
Right.
So the same thing with the woman.
So
in the way,
a
not
girl
just perfection,
already
right?
knows that she's Torah. The whole way the little girls, the way they conduct themselves. Is
So it has to be that a big trauma hit her and made her feel not like
well,
that.
it takes time. It doesn't happen one day. What's supposed to happen is a father is supposed to put his daughter to sleep at night and kiss her on the forehead.
And without it, she wouldn't know that. You're saying?
With the
He has to
world,
preserve it? What does he have to
the
do?
natural state of the world is a very big aside. The natural state of the universe, as it was created, is gravity. There's something called gravity. Things get schlepped down when left alone. So you have to fight gravity. So the way we fight gravity on a girl is the father has to mechaber her. The father kisses her on the forehead every night and says, "You're my perfect princess. You're the best thing that happened to me. I don't know what I did to deserve you." Every night until she's 20, 19, whatever the new rules are, and you walk her down to the chuppah, and now her husband for the rest of life should say that. If a girl goes through that her whole childhood, her father is mechaber her and makes her feel like she's royalty, and then her husband does, so she'll never fall. She'll return her neshama to the Rebbeinu Shalom as perfect as they came in. And in the course of her life, she'll inspire everyone around them, because that's what Tara does. Tara is the most inspiring thing in the world. But unfortunately, those fathers don't really exist so much. They're like few and far in between. And even the girl who's zeichet to have a father like that,
Why dafka father, not a mother? I was always thinking
it's different. Okay, it's a
the
separate
father-
schmooze. What?
because the father could see from like the.
It's a difference between That's why Chazal need to say the difference between to love or kagufa and mechaber yosef. The difference between love and honor. What's the difference between love and honor? You know my Torah I always said when I was in the mirror? My story, my mashal? When I was in the mirror, it was like the old days. There was like no food. I went to sleep hungry every night. I had a dira, it was an old falafel shop that we rented. It had no windows. It was 2 metal doors that opened into Beis Yisrael. And we had cats who would walk in at night because the only way we got air was to leave the doors open. It was like a disaster. And our bathroom was a falafel shop bathroom. A Beis Yisrael falafel shop bathroom.
Shower or no?
We had the shower. It was attached to the sink. It was like just a
Okay.
fork
Oh my
from the
goodness.
sink. So you turned on the sink and you held it over your head, and everything was soaking afterwards. The toilet, everything, it was all one little room. That was the situation. So I wrote my parents a letter. It was before cell phones, but I was learning. I was on fire. I used to just roam the streets of Beis Yisrael at night, like when you're in the supermarket, you walk up and down the aisles. That's what I would do. I would just chain smoke a whole night, working out the Rishonim, just me and the cats. And I was like, and I would once a week. I didn't have money, but I had money with just enough for cigarettes. But I would buy a challah once a week, and I would treat myself to like, I'm learning good. I finished this. I finished this. Whatever I wanted to finish, I'll have a bump off my challah. I would eat the bumps over a few days. That was like my trip. It was like a different world. And I wrote my parents a letter that I'm going to say I'm hungry all the time, like I'm just hungry, and there's like no food here. But in my son, I'm learning. It's amazing. I just roam the streets. I'm in the base medrash. Like at night, there's like one guy who comes in and says "Tikkun Chatzos." And the light, it's just me and him in the base medrash in the mirror, and I get a letter from my father. It says, "Dear Yitzchak, I'm so proud of you. I never thought I'd get a letter like this. You sound like a real Ben Torah. You're not a spoiled American anymore. Like this is the best thing you ever did. You entered soul. You're like a man, like a real Ben Torah. It's such a nachas reading your letter. I get a letter from my mother. It says, Yitzchak, here's $300. You better eat out twice a week, and don't you dare tell Daddy I sent you this letter." So I say over that story. So
Where'd you get more chizik from?
which letter? It's a very deep question. If I only got one of those letters, like let's analyze. What's the difference between the two letters? What does each one do? What's my mother's letter first? What does my mother's letter do?
Expresses our love.
Okay, good. So I feel loved. Love is amazing. What does love make you feel?
More love.
What does love make? I hear.
You want to give more of yourself. You want to do more.
Doesn't help you grow.
What does it do for you? Well, it might help you grow, but it makes you feel safe.
Safe. Yes.
Because love is unconditional. Since love is unconditional, when something is unconditional, so what does that mean? It's not going away. When something is unconditional, you feel safe. It's not at risk. Right? My father's letter, what is that about? It's about respect. Now the problem with respect is
Constantly earn it.
it comes from conditional. It's saying that Lamaisa, if I would write my father like you read the letter? Like it's nice that you had all the schmooze, but like you didn't send anything, like no money, nothing, like any money, it would ruin the whole letter. There's like the problem with respect is that it's conditional. But it's amazing. Which one do you think, if I only got one letter, which makes a bigger rosham?
Depends which validation you were searching for.
So then,
Nobody's
with that, you should
nobody's
only
looking-
love the
nobody-
woman. You don't need to honor
Love,
her.
no, if you're looking for love, you're already broken. If the letter you want, my mother's letter, then you're already broken, or you're so starving.
But you still want respect.
Yeah, so my father's
Why?
letter
Why
is
do you
far
want
more.
respect at that time? Why?
Everybody
saying-
wants respect. Wants
At that time, what do you need more?
Always.
The father's
Give back
letter
money,
is
you
worth
want respect.
much more. The
Really?
father's
You want
letter
the money
is
for
worth much
respect.
more.
What
Than
do
money.
you mean?
The father's letter, you
You're
walk
right.
around.
Why? One second. Why? Say it.
I had a similar story. My grandma, I had a Yekisha grandmother. My grandfather died very young, when I was only 3. Now, when he was 60, I was 3. So, but she ran the whole mishpach. But she was, she knew Tanakh. She was like an old Yekisha grandmother. Every bar mitzvah boy, you had to go up the year of bar mitzvah. You had to go learn with Umi every Shabbos. You bar mitzvah parsha, Chumash and Rashi, Rav Hirsch. She would teach you the parsha.
Really?
Yeah, your grandmother. It was weird, but it was cool. My grandmother was very smart. She was. So I was in the mirror. They put out a chayveres for Blazer Yudel's 25th yard site or 30, whatever it was, and everybody in yeshiva was giving a shikol Torah to see if they're going to get into the Yad Eliezer that we're publishing. So like everyone was giving it. I was the only American bacher to get in.
Wow.
There were only 4 Bachram got in. One was a Shmuel Evans. They had to take him in. And one was, it was like a big thing. And people were upset. It's not fair. Everyone put Torahs. But I got in. I was very proud of it. I sent the tone to I bought like my last monies. I bought like 5 coffees. I said to my grandmother, she had some money. I'm going to get, it's a good investment. So I bought the last few copies, like Nachas money. I sent it back to America. And I waited every day for my check to come. So like 2 months later, I get this little letter. I open it up. It's a card. You have to copy because your grandmother. Open it up. It says, like in Hebrew, like covered, whatever she wrote.
She stuck up the whole thing?
Yitzchak. She wrote, "Im lemadta Torah harbe al tachseg toiv la'atzmecha ki lekach noitzarta ba'ava umi."
Oh my goodness.
Let me tell you something. I showed that letter around the mirror. The cover I got from that letter from Azad grandmother, there's no money she could have sent. Everyone I showed it to, Rosh Yeshiva, everybody, they would schlep me by the hand to the next guy, show him the letter. Nobody believed such a thing existed. Azad grandmother. That covered was covered malachim. It was better than any money. There's a musig that covered is better for a boy.
How is it covered? I don't understand how it's covered.
With that letter from my grandmother?
Or the letter from your father. How is that covered? Can you explain?
Father saying, I'm so proud of you.
I
You're
didn't even
amazing.
respect.
But if you want to
You're
show
Ben
pride,
Torah.
so how do you say put your hand, put your thing where your mouth is?
What?
Money where your mouth
Put your
is.
money where your
He's
mouth
looking for money. He's looking for
Stop.
validation.
Yeah.
He said I'm starving.
Putting
He
money
didn't say
there
I'm
would be
doing great.
cheap.
That was a side part
My
of the
father
thing.
didn't hear he started. My father heard that you're learning
Oh,
my
he didn't
Mesirat
hear that
Yishta.
part you're saying?
He heard it, but he heard it as, he said, wow, that Torah. You know, not a spoiled brat. He
You
doesn't
knew
need
it was a genuine thing. It wasn't just him rubbing it in, right?
Not rubbing. He wasn't trying to avoid.
No, it
he wasn't. He wasn't trying to avoid
You
giving me
trying
a
to rub it
check.
in?
No, it wasn't him saying like, "Oh, no, you spoiled American." You're saying, "Oh, no, you spoiled American."
No.
He was really just like,
Yeah.
"It's not that." That's
He
the
wasn't
cover.
trying to just avoid giving me money. He wasn't that cheap, you know. Well, you know.
So
Although
if you
was
wrote
it-
a letter, would you rather back respect or money? Money just shows here's money. Finished.
Right. You think I remember? You think I remember?
It's money. Why you
Love
keep
is
saying
not money.
money?
Money is not love.
The money there's not
People
just
listening,
love.
I'm waiting here to hear the rabbi.
Well, you think
Sorry.
you think I remember one thing I ate with that
100%.
with my mother's money? Like one thing I had in the restaurant. I don't. The truth is, I think if I remember correctly, you know, what my father's letter did. It made me feel so much like a Ben Torah that I spent most of my mother's money on Svarim. The $300 that was meant for restaurants. Because that's what it does to you. Like you forget that you needed food. Pride is worth so much more. Rabbi Kalish told me the same aside. He said when he hires Rabbi, he said, people think I need to hire from my boys, the hard boys, I need to hire superstars. He goes, I don't hire superstars. I hire guys who get a kick out of my bachram. When a bacher knows that his Rebbe has a spilus from him, he'll give himself to his Rebbe. That's what we're craving. A boy needs covet. You need respect. You don't need to be coddled.
So why does it say you have to give a woman respect more than yourself? Isn't
So,
that
so,
a
so
woman?
it's honor. Honor is different than covet. Honor is, we'll talk about the difference between honor and respect in a second.
Oh, respect.
But everyone needs it. But the tool is what helps the woman stay up there. That's just not to get too far off track. We're saying that that's what honor. L'chabta. Yeah.
You explain what lechabda means, right?
Yeah, so you hear the aside, we hear Rabbi Kalish's aside, so you just said, I was on a panel in Project Inspire where you have to, you know, the point of panels is a good machlekes. I was just on the panel 2 weeks ago, Project Inspire. It was me, Aaron Cutler, and Chili Spiro on the panel. So, and Yoshi Friedman was like the head of Project Inspire. She says, it's, you know, you have to like...
Well, you have to clash with people.
You have to have the people there. It starts at 12 o'clock, midnight, Friday night. So there's no cameras, no one's taping it. You can say whatever you like.
Off the
But
record.
people want, this is the entertainment, you know?
show.
This is the entertainment. So you have to fight. So the problem is he knew it's kind of a hard time fighting with Aaron Cutler, you know? I mean, like, so
So how did it go?
I did whatever. It's not so hard to fight, you know. You want. So the sugya was that the first question was, do you think the frum world today is too shallow and shitchiistic and so Aaron Cutler went with 100%. Mamash a novel b'shus satira. It's like
LFU.
so how do you argue with that? So I said, listen. I said I went.
He said that with BMG and everything.
What?
He's made pro, no?
Who?
He said it even with BMG. He's very into that.
Yeah, I know. That I couldn't do. You know, I had such good lines to say. Also, I can't even say. I'm gonna say in the recording.
Was it?
Hold it.
Pause it.
No, but I'll tell you what I said. But I wanted to say something like that. That wasn't the line. The line that I didn't say was an amazing line. But a
pause it?
secondary
We wanna
line.
hear
no,
it.
no.
Why'd you even
Okay,
start
so
recording?
pause it for a second. I'll tell you the line.
Why
I
did you even
didn't say.
start recording?
Hold on a second.